Chapter 7. As the early afternoon sun hung over the forest, the sows settled down in the shade to rest. They had been foraging since early morning, but the air was now hot and muggy, and it took too much energy to move. One by one, they picked a shady corner, under bushes or on cool mosses, and lay down to take a well-earned nap. The piglets, however, were not interested in resting. They shot about the glade, investigating every nook and cranny. Only Binda, one of the smallest piglets, curled up close to her mother, steering clear of the ruckus being created by her siblings and cousins. The piglets were now 3 months old and starting to lose their camouflage stripes. While they still suckled their mothers occasionally, they were now eating adult foods and they wanted to try everything. They trailed their mothers around the forest and the surrounding fields, taking their lead on the best berries, nuts, mushrooms, and roots to eat. Right now, though, with their mothers asleep, they were experimenting. Blaze, as always, was the ringleader. He rocketed around the clearing, bouncing off trees, bushes, sleeping sows, and anything else that stood in his way. Watching him was dizzying, and the sows had long since given up trying to keep tabs on him. He would make his mistakes, and hopefully he would learn from them. Blaze paused by a thorny bramble and took a nibble. He jumped back immediately as several sharp spikes stuck into his tiny snout. He head-butted the bush to express his displeasure, then shot off again. A discarded plastic bottle caught his attention, and he began to chase it, grabbing it in his teeth and flinging it at his pals. 3 of the others joined the game, shoving the bottle with their noses, rolling it over, biting it, and throwing it back and forth. It was non-stop. When Blaze had tired of the bottle, he ran over to Katana, who was fast asleep, and shoved his little snout forcefully into her belly. She did not budge. He rammed her again, a little harder. Katana continued to snore peacefully. He ran back a few paces, then ran at Katana, leaping into the air and landing squarely on her back. If she felt him, she did not show it. He ran up her back and flicked her ears, first one and then the other, over and over. When this still brought no reaction, he ran down her back to her tail. It was long and bushy and just waiting to be pulled. He launched himself into the air, and as he started to descend, he grabbed the end of her tail in his teeth. He landed deftly on the ground. Then he ran back and forth, leaping up and using the tail as an anchor as he sailed through the air. Katana gave a loud grunt and wiggled her bum, indicating that she was not enjoying this experience. Blaze dropped the tail and shot off again. Katana lazily opened one eye and looked at him affectionately. He was so full of spirit and positive energy, it was hard not to love him. His siblings and cousins all adored him. They ran to him now to congratulate him on this latest maneuver. They were in awe of his swagger and his fearlessness, and they all wanted to be part of his gang. He would make a great leader someday. She wondered if Felix had been so sunny and positive when he was a young piglet. Felix commanded respect from animals throughout the forest, but it was a long time since she had seen him truly happy. Blaze was full of affection and caring for his family. Despite his fondness for the rough and tumble, he was careful not to injure his friends and was always the first to their side if they got into trouble. Felix had helped protect the sounder on many occasions, but she could not remember seeing any true affection from him. Perhaps Blaze would be an even greater leader than his father. As she settled back into her slumber, Katana tried to imagine what the forest would be like by the time Blaze reached adulthood. The sounder was bigger this year than she had ever remembered it, as more piglets had survived their first winter. The sows were all happy, of course, not to see their children suffer and die, but she wondered if the forest could sustain their growing numbers. Perhaps the hunters would start to take more when they noticed their swelling ranks. It suddenly dawned on her that the hunters had actually taken fewer boars in the last few years. Had they decided they no longer liked boar meat? She had no way to know. She turned her thoughts to happier affairs and gently drifted back to sleep.